Welcome to Retiring Right. Mike has been helping families plan for a successful retirement. Mike Reese of Centennial Advisors will help you learn about strategies for creating income in retirement, managing your wealth, and minimizing taxes. You're watching Retiring Right.
Welcome into our show, everyone. Joined once again by Mike Reese. It is always great to be with you. We have an important topic today, legacy planning. There's so much that goes into this. How are you?
I'm great. And I think this is a wonderful topic. I'm excited to have a conversation today about this. So looking forward to getting going here.
Let's set the scene for our viewers really quickly. What legacy will you leave behind? For many people, it's not just about wealth, but about making a meaningful impact on their family and the world. Today, Mike is here to share savvy, simple strategies to help you pass on your wealth while avoiding common tax and legal challenges. And when we talk about legacy, what should people be thinking about beyond just the dollar amount, Mike? I think a lot of times we get kind of set into our minds about just that money piece of it, and that's part of it, but what else?
So whenever you ask me that question, Amy, my mind flashes back to kind of a personal story here about my grandparents and kind of a legacy they left me. So my grandparents on my father's side, they were not wealthy people, typical good middle class America. And they didn't leave money, a lot of money to my parents or to the grandchildren or anything like that. But here's what they did leave me. I'll never forget growing up, they had a cottage, which is, I grew up in Michigan.
Okay.
And they had a little cottage on a lake up in northern Michigan, which is what, people always want when you live in Michigan. Anyway, so in the summertime, we would go up to the cottage, us and the kids. And at that time, we would play card games. Right? So we're at the table. So picture this. We're at the kitchen table playing card games. And there was this game that they taught us called Crazy Rummy, which was, rummy and it went crazy. But the point was that even as children, my grandmother would never let us win. Right? Now, this is back in the day when, they're
serious. She's
into it, and she's chain smoking away. So she's sitting like, I'll be right beside her. She's chain smoking her cigarette away. We're playing this game. And I'll never forget, like, she'd pull a card where it wouldn't be the card she needed. She'd put it back in the deck, and she'd always mutter under her breath, oh, damn. Right? I mean, but they'd never let us win. And so, because of that, to this day, I've never forgotten, it's still clear in my brain, the first time I won. The first time I won, I beat them, and I was just on cloud nine, right? Cloud nine. But the other thing that it taught me is I'll never forget the sense of accomplishment that I had, that I never would have had if they would let me win.
That's right.
Right?
I agree.
So when I think about that and the legacy that we leave to others, it's all about time, really, at the end of the day. But it was the time that I spent with my grandparents. That was my grandmother. The same side, my grandfather, he used to read the newspaper, and he would always go to the financial section. This is why I'm in the financial industry today. Because as a kid, I'm like, Grandpa, what are you doing? And he would sit there and show me what he was tracking in the newspaper and all these different stocks back in the day. And he had such interest in it, I couldn't help but take on that interest. That's why I do what I do today. When all is said and done, it's because what he taught me. Think about that. When we have children, grandchildren, yeah, you can leave them money. That's one thing. Leaving them memories and values, very different.
I love that story. It was marbles for me and my grandmother. She didn't let me win either, but a lot of memories we have, and I love that. You brought up just the word time. Speaking of time, is there a good time to start legacy planning? Is it a good idea to start sooner? Can we still accomplish our same goals later?
Yeah, I think always earlier is better. So remember this, a life is not the money you leave people. A life is a collection of memories that you leave. I think about this, now, like what do my wife and I do? Every summer we take all the kids and their significant others on a trip somewhere just to spend time together. If you are involved in charities, right? Maybe you don't have money to leave to charities yet, but you have time, right? You can contribute to your church. You can contribute to your charity. Spend time. Be there. Be present. Be helpful. And when it comes to planning, obviously there's a money component as well. And obviously the sooner you start thinking of what you want to do and how you want to go about doing it is better, right? It's like anything else. Don't wait till the last minute. Plan ahead. But everybody keeps thinking when you hear about legacy, money, 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 money. Is that a part of it? Yeah, it can be. But I would argue that values, time, experiences, by far is the most important part. Because look, I remember this. My grandparents on the other side of the family, when they died, I actually got a little bit of money. I don't remember how much. And you know what? They hardly spent time with us. But my grandparents, where I didn't get the money, they spent time with us. I remember them much more fondly.
Okay, we're off to a great start. Thank you so much, Mike. We've got more coming up, so stick around. Up next, Mike will share actionable tips to help you create a plan that honors your wishes and helps protect your family. And later, could the IRS be planning to inherit a big portion of your legacy? Mike will show you some strategies to help keep the government from being your biggest beneficiary. Stay with us right here on Retiring Right. We're back after this.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy, but with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow so you can enjoy your retirement today.
Welcome back to Retiring Right. Leaving a legacy can feel overwhelming with taxes, trusts, and future family dynamics, but it doesn't have to be that way. Mike Reese is back to break it down for us, to tell us where people should start when thinking about their legacy plan. It's always kind of good to rewind back to the beginning. What are those first actionable steps I need to be taking?
Right. So, in our last segment, I know we talked a little bit about how it's about time and experiences, but there's always a financial component, right? And, every time I ask someone when they come in the office, I say, okay, tell me a little bit about what you want your legacy to be. They always say the same thing. Well, I plan on spending all my money, right? Which is great if that's what you want to do. But let's be honest, there's probably something left behind. And at the end of the day, Amy, there are three places that can get your money when you're gone,
okay,
right? And here's what they are. It can be a person, like a family, friends, relatives, a person. It could be a charity, like church or charity. Or, of course, our favorite one, the IRS.
Not our favorite.
Yeah, guess which one of those three people seem to always want to eliminate?
I'm going to guess number 3.
Yeah, it's going to be number 3,
yeah,
right? Or as my friend talks about it, he might use the same 3, but he puts the IRS in the
I
middle.
knew that was
know how that goes, right? So what do we need to do here? So it's like any other type of planning. We start with what we want, right? You've got to start with what you want. So you say, okay, I want to live a great, big, enjoyable retirement. That's great. But still we have to think through, okay, after we're gone, who do I want to get whatever's left over, right? Do I want it to be a charity, a church? Do I want it to be a person? What do I want? So that's where we start, right? And then what we're going to do is just say, okay, well, let's take a look at what we have. And if we don't change anything, what's going to happen? Right? What's going to happen here? And here's the big one that people miss out on. They forget about this all the time. And that is, remember that things like 401ks and 403bs, 450, these retirement plans, when we pull money out, we pay tax. We always remember that. We forget about the part that when we're gone, taxes aren't over. Guess what? The IRS still has its hand out to our children and our grandchildren, and they still want more. So how do we help, eliminate that? What can we do there? That's always a question. So you got to work with someone who can help you think through these issues and, help you get what you want.
I want to go back to charitable giving because I do think this is something that has become more of a focus for a lot of families, a lot of couples, individuals, whatever it may be, as they start thinking about their legacy plan, organizations that are important to them, things like that. How does that fit into a legacy plan? How do we work that in?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And remember this, the tax code loves charitable giving. It loves charitable giving. In fact, so much so that even if you're not charitably inclined, you might want to think about it. But when you think about charitable giving, there are things like, once you're past the age of 70, you can do something called QCD, right? Qualified Charitable Donations, which helps you with your tax planning, giving less to the IRS, more to the charity you want to give. You could do donor advised funds. Those are really big. You could do charitable trusts. By the way, a lot of people don't realize this, Amy, but if you've got a larger IRA, like maybe a couple million or more, you can leave, like if I had that, Becky's my primary beneficiary, my wife, but the contingent beneficiary, we would not want it to be our children. Instead, we would name a charitable, a CRT, a charitable remainder trust, as the beneficiary. And done the right way, instead of our kids having to take all that money out over 10 years, they can take it out over their lifetimes. I mean, just powerful planning involved when you include charities. So a lot of times what you get to do is, hey, what did we say? People, charities, IRS. Guess what I just did? People, charities, who got the short end of the stick with that last one?
IRS.
Yeah, that's always a good plan, right?
Yeah, and I do think when we talk about taxes, it is a big concern when passing it on to the wealth. You've given us some ideas. Is there anything else we need to be thinking about in terms of that? Because it's also that burden that we don't want to leave to our loved ones either. Yeah,
that's right. So a lot of times what happens too is when you think about legacy, right? We're trying to get rid of and by the way, you want to get rid of the IRS real easily in retirement, Roth conversions. Roth conversions are great ways to just, by switching from taxable to tax-free accounts, it's almost always better for you, but it's always better, not almost always better for your beneficiaries. But with that in mind, the other thing that I want you to think about is, for a lot of families, I have 5 children. And I talk to people, they've got 2 or 3 children. And it's amazing how they say, I want to leave, whatever's left over when I'm gone, go to my 3 children equally. And do you have any concerns with any of those kids getting a lump sum? Well, with 2 of them, they're okay. But there's one.
There's always the live wire.
There's that one. If they get a lump sum, like the next day they've got, some kind of a boat and a Lamborghini and the money's gone, right? They are not good with money. So one of the things that we also should be thinking about is, how do we protect our kids against themselves maybe? And what does that mean? Maybe instead of leaving a lump sum, we can use a trust or something like that to leave them an income stream that they cannot outlive. Like instead of a lump sum, what if you get income that's like a pension that lasts for your lifetime? Things like that are possible. But guess what? Like anything else, Amy, you got to get some professional help there. This is not the kind of thing that you can do on your own very easily.
We didn't even get into family conflict, but we won't talk about that today. That could go on for a long time. All right, thank you so much. Coming up, Mike will take us through strategies to disinherit the IRS. We'll be right back, right here on Retiring Right.
When it comes to planning for the future, time may not always be on your side. Think about your taxes. Tax rates are historically low right now, but they'll likely be higher in the future. With the right planning and strategy, you might be able to cut your tax bill in the years to come. But don't wait until it's too late to take advantage of today's lower tax rates. Let us be your partner in planning for tomorrow, so you can enjoy your retirement today.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
Welcome back to Retiring Right. If you're planning to leave an estate behind, watch out. There could be another beneficiary you weren't expecting, the IRS. Mike, what can we do about that?
Thanks, Amy. This week on Chalk Talk, we are going to focus in on how do you disinherit the IRS. That's right, Uncle Sam doesn't need your money anyway, right? So, we talked about earlier, there are 3 places that can get money when you die. And it is a person, like a family member or a friend. It is a charity, that would be church, charity, that type of thing, or the IRS. And our job right now is how do we get the IRS out of our lives? Now, it turns out, at least when it comes for your beneficiaries, or to your beneficiaries rather, that getting the IRS out of their lives and out of your life is a lot easier than you might think. It all has to do with understanding that there are 3 different tax buckets. You have after-tax accounts, pre-tax accounts, and then tax-free accounts. And each of these accounts work a certain way while you're alive, but they also work a certain way when they get passed down to the next generation. So, number 1, after-tax accounts. These are accounts like, investment accounts that are not in an IRA. Maybe, it's kind of account you get a 1099 on every year where you say, oh, here's how much interest you had, here's how much in dividends you had or capital gains, and you have to pay tax on that amount every year. So they're going to be individual accounts, trust accounts, joint accounts, stuff like that. Now, these accounts, each year you're getting a 1099, you're going to pay tax while you're alive, but what's important to know is when you die, these accounts get something called a step-up of basis at death. And what that means is that the person who inherits that account pays no tax. That's what it really means at the end of the day. Tax-free to your beneficiaries. So, how much does the IRS get out of those accounts? That's right, the big fat zero, which is what we want. Okay, what's our next bucket? Tax-deferred or pre-tax tax-deferred accounts. These are your IRAs, your 401ks, 457s, it's SEP IRAs, profit sharing plans, and all that kind of stuff. These are the accounts where your money's growing tax deferred, and guess what? Once you retire, you have to pull money out, required minimum distributions, and as you pull money out, you pay tax. Well, here's the deal. When you leave these accounts to the next generation, they have 10 years to pull the money out, and it is 100% taxable to them, which means that the IRS is a big beneficiary of those accounts. So if you're trying to make the IRS, if you're trying to cut them out on your beneficiary list, you cannot have money in those accounts when you die. And that brings up number 3. Account number 3, those are our tax-free accounts. Those are accounts that say Roth. Anything with Roth in it is tax-free. Roth IRA, Roth 401k, Roth 403b, Roth 457. Those are all tax-free accounts, or life insurance. That's about it. So when you die, this money goes to your beneficiaries tax-free. So again, the IRS gets a big fat zero. So where is the IRS collecting its money? Where is the IRS being your beneficiary? It's in that middle bucket. Bucket number 2, the pre-tax tax-deferred money. The key is get the money out of there while you're alive. Now, if you are doing tax planning, and by tax planning, what I mean is you sat down with someone and they help you map out what your entire future looks like. Like, here is the road you're on. Here are the taxes you're projected to pay each year during your retirement until the day you die, and you start there. If you're sitting down with that person, then that person will also help you figure out, hey, how can I make that tax bill better? Should I pay a little tax today or wait and pay it later? Well, you can pay it today through Roth conversions. And if you do a Roth conversion program whereby you're moving money from pre-tax money to tax-free, guess what? If you've accomplished that before you die, how much does the IRS get? Nothing out of bucket number 1. There's no money in bucket number 2 to get, and all the money in bucket number 3, they don't get any of that either. So congratulations, you have now disinherited the IRS. Great job. Pat yourself on the back, but again, probably a good idea to visit with someone that's knowledgeable in this space to help make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's.
Thanks so much, Mike. Coming up, we'll answer your questions about retirement. Stay tuned.
On the surface, your retirement plan might look solid. With your 401k or IRA, Social Security, investments, and insurance coverage, you appear to have it all covered. But what could you be missing? Below the surface, is your retirement exposed to too much risk? It's time for a deeper dive into your portfolio. We can help you uncover the risk that lies beneath the surface and learn about strategies to help preserve your savings. Get your free risk analysis today.
How does your future look in retirement? When you don't have a strategy, the future might look a little fuzzy. But with someone asking the right questions and helping you learn where you truly stand, it can become easier to work towards your goals. You need a plan to help generate income that will last as long as you need it. And the first step to creating an income plan is an analysis of where you are now. Let us help you bring your retirement into focus with your free income analysis today.
Welcome back. It is time to answer your questions, and Mike Reese has decided to show up once again to answer them. You here?
I'm ready to go. This is exciting.
Okay, here we go. This is our first question from John in Austin. I understand that I've paid into Social Security my whole career, but honestly, I don't feel like I need it. I put together a solid nest egg, and as crazy as this sounds, I don't feel like I need more income. Should I still claim my benefits?
Well, this sounds like a good situation to be in, doesn't it?
My gosh, everybody would love to have this
Of
as their
course.
situation.
Yeah,
Good
so
for
here's
him.
the thing. Yes, you have to claim your benefits. And if you don't, it's not like you're hurting anyone else by taking them or anything like that. So here's what I would suggest. Wait till 70, claim, get the most you can get. And then if you really don't need the money, why not give it to charity? Right? They always need the money, so you can be a good resource for them. I think the reality is they force you to take it anyway. If I'm not mistaken, you can't really not take it, but maybe I'm wrong on that one. I've never really heard of that, but yeah, it's a good position to be in. Go ahead and take it, and if you can't use the money, give it to charity. And guess what? If you don't want to do that, there's probably a lot of people out there that could use the help. So
yeah, I agree. I think
there
that's
you
a perfect option. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is from Susan in San Antonio. I've heard a lot about insurance as a part of an income plan. I've never really thought about using an insurance product that way. Could that really work as an income source?
Yeah, so this is, again, a good question. So back when my parents retired in the late 90s, we could go out at that time, Amy, I could buy 10-year government bonds, no risk, earning 5 to 6% per year, and it was like a no-brainer, right? Easy peasy. Well, you might remember we had a little problem in the markets back in 2008, and the financial crisis, interest rates went from that 5 to 6% for a 10-year bond down to pretty much zero, and you couldn't do it anymore for income. And people are like, well, what am I supposed to do for retirement income? Well, a lot of people have come to learn, and not everyone knows yet, but insurance companies have come out with different tools that are designed to provide income for either a period of time or for life. And so depending on what your situation is, for many people, carving out part of your retirement money and sending it over to that insurance company to deliver guaranteed income is a big plus for a lot of people. So worth looking into when it comes to retirement planning. And it's like anything else, you don't put all your money there, but as a piece of the puzzle, it can be helpful.
Okay. Here is another question from Robert in Bernie. I've been retired for a few years, and honestly, I'm getting pretty bored. It's nice not having to worry about a job, but I don't really feel like I have anything to do. I can only golf so much. Do you have any ideas? You feel like there's somebody out there right now going, who can golf too much?
Yeah.
Not me, but I'm just assuming.
I can feel his pain. So true story, I actually like maybe 13 years ago, 14 years ago, we moved to Texas, and I thought to myself, I don't need the money, I can retire. And I did. And do you know what I did every day for about 6 months, maybe not even that long? I either golfed or I played Candy Crush. And very quickly, just like this gentleman, I'm like,
brain went to mush
a
little bit.
I'm dying here. This is, I need more. And this happens a lot. If you do not know what you're going to retire to, you're in trouble, right? Because you will very quickly find yourself bored. So here is my best suggestion. What brings you passion? You know, what are you passionate about? Now, for some people, it might be their church or charity. Okay, start really spending a lot of time there. See how you can help out there. I have a guy, for him, it's trains, like these model trains, and he has built in his home this just incredible layout. And he has friends come over, and now you know what he does? He actually he's building the trains, he sells them as a hobby. Amy, I think if he makes $1,000 for the whole year, he spends hours on this, but if he makes a little money, it doesn't matter. But you know what? It's enjoyable to him. It's meaningful to him. And honestly, if you go to his house, it's like the coolest thing you ever seen, right? So the key is find out what your passions are and spend time enjoying it, right? Just dive in with both feet and enjoy it.
I do still have a visual of Mike Reese sitting there playing Candy Crush on his phone. I can't get it out of my head.
Hey.
Maybe you can't either. But okay, finally from Lyndon in Georgetown, I understand the statistics and I know that long-term care is something I'm not supposed to ignore, but I never want to live in a nursing home no matter what, and my kids know that. But they still insist I look into long-term care coverage just in case. Is it really something that I need to do? None of us want this, do we?
Right. And Linda, here's what I want to share with you. The reason you get long-term care coverage is so that you don't end up in the nursing home. It's stay out of nursing home coverage is what it really is. Because in the ideal world, if you need care, hey, Amy, if you needed care, where do you want to be? Do you want to go to a nursing home or would you rather stay at home? I want to be at home.
Home.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I'm at home, that means what? All the doctors and all the nurses have to come to me. That's the most expensive path to take. And guess what? Long-term care coverage pays for it, at least to the degree that your policy will allow for. So when you think about long-term care insurance, don't think about nursing home insurance. Think stay out of the nursing home insurance, if that's what you want to do.
I love the way of looking at it that way. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mike. Invaluable advice as always. And if you are ready to create a tax-efficient retirement plan designed to protect your wealth, generate income for life, and leave that lasting legacy we've been talking about, now's the time to connect with the team at Centennial Advisors. For Mike Reese and the entire team, I'm Amy Sharp. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Retiring Right.